If you remember Nagraj, Super Commando Dhruva, Doga, Parmanu, Bokal, the Austrian painter, Ninja Toads, then you grew up reading Raj Comics. Raj Comics became popular in the late 80s and 90s where they had millions of readers. Its main language was Hindi. It was a golden era of Hindi superhero comic book. Although there were other competitors that time like Manoj Comics, Diamond Comics, Amar Chitra Katha, Raj Comics held their own by making Indian superheroes which the Indian readers would love to read. One of the earliest thing you learn in marketing is ethos, pathos and logos, and Raj Comics used this pathos to full extent to make and sell their comics. Raj Comics have taken many significant inspirations and copied hard from American DC and Marvel Comics when making their characters. Raj Comics' main face of the company is Nagraj. Nagraj is a copy of Marvel's Spider-Man and DC's Superman, where Nagraj swings around the city like Spider-Man and have powers of Snake and can summon Snake. Nagraj's alter ego is basically the Clark Kent, as he also works in a newspaper company and have a reporter girlfriend. Super Commando Dhruva is an adaptation of first Robin, Dick Grayson, as both of them worked in circus as their origin story. Later Dhruva became a detective character like Nightwing and Batman. Doga is an adaptation of Deathstroke and become a Punisher-like character, who ended the villains instead of sending them to jail. Here at this you can see they did the same with Doga posing like Black Adam. Parmanu is adapted from Atom as they share similar powers and costume with only difference in color palettes. Another word for Atom in Hindi is Parmanu. In one of the comics they semi-adapted the Spider-Man's Venom-like alien character who comes to Earth, takes Parmanu's power and likeness, then they both fight each other. Anthony is from The Crow. Bedia is the mixture of Tarzan and Blanca from Street Fighter. Later in the comics they separate into Kobe and Bedia. Inspector Steel is very obvious copy from RoboCop. The earlier color version of Steel was very similar to RoboCop, so they later changed it. Shakti is inspired by Wonder Woman and Sanatan mythology. Tiranga is the easiest one, it's copied from Captain America. Here in this comic cover we can see a character who bears resemblance to Black Panther. Bokal is inspired from He-Man Conan and Lion-O from Thundercats. Fighter Toads are also obvious inspiration from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where Toads also live in the sewers, have their own April and disguises themselves in trench coats when going in public. They even say their own version of catchphrase as Toad's action where the turtles say Cowabunga. Black Cat is copied from Catwoman and Black Cat from Spider-Man. Kali Vidwa is a direct copy from Black Widow and Spider-Woman, they didn't even try hiding this. There are also the Raj Comics villains who were copied from popular American comics. Haru is from Sinestro. Miss Killer is copied from Blackfire. Raj Comics didn't even bother changing the looks. This villain here is from Winter Soldier. They even got Terminator in one of their comics. Kal Pahalia is from Riddler, though Danga is actually inspired from a former wrestler Kamala and also mixture of Rhino. Asia Raj Shambuk is copied from Darkseid. Grandmaster Robo is copied from Cyborg. Jadagar Shakura is from The Watchers. This character is copied from wrestler Mankind. Here we can see some of the earlier villains of Parmanu are just a copy from popular characters like Two-Face, Robo-Cop, Hawkman and Spider-Man. Raj Comics were not the only Indian comic book publisher who have ripped off from famous international comics. Diamond Comics' main character Chacha Chaudhary is copied from Tintin. You can simply give Tintin a headgear and mustache to find this obvious. And the character's facial design on this cover art is definitely from Archie's Comics. Then there is this funny comic cover from them. Diamond Comics also used to republish and translate classic Phantom and Spider-Man comics in Hindi and other regional languages. In some case Raj Comics have fully copied comic panels and arts in their comics, like in this one where Nagraj fights Dracula. They just traced and drew Nagraj in place of Superman. In one of their earlier Nagraj comic they also have featured Superman, Batman and Spider-Man, where these superheroes fight Jadagar Shakura. Their English translation of the Hindi dialogues are very funny. I find this very bizarre that in the climax of this story, a character named Lou Albano helps Nagraj to fight Jadagar Shakura, who is probably inspired by a real wrestler Lou Albano. Shakura cast a spell on Albano which makes him a giant and he tramples the public, so to stop him Nagraj sends his snakes in the mouth of Albano and he is finished by the poison. Nagraj and the other superheroes just laughs and questions who killed the character, while public takes picture with Lau's lifeless giant body. The common sense just goes out of the window. In the final panel they all have dinner in a hotel and then Batman and Spider-Man casually hitch a ride on Superman to America. There would be copyright and lawsuits uproar if this happened today. Most of the cover arts for the comic books were very gory and bizarre, like the most of the Bokal comics had violent bloody cover arts and, in some cases here Nagraj is in the America and 9/11 attack is happening in the background. In America they had Comic Code Authority who made DC, Marvel, Archie's, and other American comic book publisher to censor their comic books from the disturbing and sexual images to the younger readers. Over time the main comic and character arts changed, but we prefer the classic late 80s and early 90s arts of the Raj Comics. Like the Avengers and Justice League, the superheroes of Raj Comics also unite to fight greater threats to their universe. One of the most WTF comic book story was when the Raj heroes fight against Hitler, whose soul possess a kid and try to conquer the world again. Despite of their characters being copied or inspired from popular American comic books like DC and Marvel, Raj Comics are remembered for their good storytelling and the most impactful and memorable Indian superheroes, who gave countless fun and inspiration to the kids of that era. They had millions of loyal readers who would wait for the next comic book issues, and also, during the early 90s they used to give out free posters, stickers, and magnet stickers with their comic books, which appealed very much to the younger audience. That was truly the golden era of Indian superheroes comic books. The Indian superhero craze in the 90s gave us TV shows like Shaktiman and Captain Vyam. They tried making Nagraj TV show in the 90s, but it didn't went for too long. At first we thought it was Mr. Jitendra as Nagraj. Although many of the new generation people have missed out on this, but we can see how much the MCU movies have made similar impact on them and to today's pop culture. Who knows that the Raj Comics characters could also be successful in the big screen like MCU amongst Indian movie-going audiences if the Raj Comics get their own cinematic universe. Throwback to when Mr. Sonu Sood did Nagraj in a commercial, we think that he would make a great Nagraj in the big screen at this time.